Welcome back, my bullet journaling friends. It's the start of a new week, and this week I'm coming to you with some fresh ideas for 4 different monthly calendar layouts that you can use in your bullet journal. Some of them are definitely a little bit springtime, but some of them not so much. So grab your bullet journal, grab a few of your favorite washi tapes and some colored pens to match, and let's get planning. I'm going to pop the details up on the screen for all of the items that I'm using in this video, and there are also links to everything in the description as well, so you can find everything really easily in case you'd like to get your hands on anything that you see. This first one is a double page spread, which means the design goes over the left and the right page. I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the left page, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the right. I've got 6 spaces at the top of the page and 6 spaces down the bottom as well, and each of the boxes that I'm going to draw out will be 5 spaces by 5 spaces. And I've already made a mistake. Don't worry, we'll fix that. The notebook I'm using here is an A5 size notebook therapy notebook, so if you're using a different notebook, you may need to adjust things a little bit to make sure they fit on your pages. If you like a super minimal layout, you could leave this here, just add the numbers for each day and an initial or the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in that space up the top, but I want boxes this time, so I'm going to jump back in with my ruler and add some vertical lines to close this up. Let's fix this line that's too long. You guys probably already know, if you've been around here for any length of time, that I love my white Posca paint marker for exactly this purpose. I'm going with a blue theme for this one, so I'm going to color in this top space with one of my Tombos here and just add the first 3 letters for each day of the week here. If you prefer your weeks to start on a Sunday or another day, by all means set your layout up for that. I just like Mondays to be my first day. It looks a little bit tricky to read these on camera, but I promise you it's actually very easy to see this lettering in real life, so don't worry, I can see it. And I'm just adding a little circle in the top left corner of each box where I'm going to write the number for each day of the month. This kind of layout is really good for anyone who likes a lot of order, being able to see all of your events for the month at a glance, while still keeping your page looking very calm. I like using the negative space on the side here to add the name of the month. That actually means this can double as a cover page too, if you'd like it to. I will quite often skip a cover page when I'm using this setup and just do this instead. And in the opposite gap, I'm just adding some washi tape to give us a little bit of texture on the page and something a bit more detailed. This washi tape is gold gilded, so I'm going to bring a little bit of that shiny gold element onto the left side as well, plus the starry theme from the washi tape too. So I'm just using the pens that I've already used plus a shiny gold. These ones are the smaller end of a Tombow, just tiny little 5-pointed stars and some little dots. The Pigma Micron 05, which is a little bit thicker than the 03 that I use for most of my line work, and a gold Sharpie as well, just to give that May lettering a little bit of something magical. Let's move on to the next one. This is going to be a single page monthly calendar, where the calendar is quite small here at the top, and then there is a space below it for you to list your events. And I've left a gap in the top left and bottom right corner for some decoration, but I didn't end up sticking to that idea, so you'll see. Going for some red this time because I wanted it to tie into these washi stickers that you can see on the left here from the washi tape shop. This is the Doodle Friends set. So this top red line is where I'm putting the initial for each day of the week. You might notice that I'm putting them in line with the dots rather than in between the dots. That's so that I can make sure that my Thursday is smack in the center of the page. So I've oriented myself around that Thursday in the center and then added everything else outwards from that, which is one of my favorite ways to make sure a layout ends up quite symmetrical. That means all of these numbers will also be in line with the dots rather than in between the dots. Speaking of keeping things in the center, if you struggle with your lettering and you find things are always wonky to the left or the right side, start with the middle letter of your word instead. Give it a go, just see how you go. So this time, starting with the A, adding on the Y, and then going back to the beginning and adding the M. I just find that works really well for me. Sometimes I end up writing the first half of a heading backwards, but it's always in the middle. Next up, I'm just going to use some of these stickers. So I've decided actually to put them all the way along the bottom rather than one in the top left, one in the bottom right. Super adorable illustrations on these cuties, so I'm just picking a few that stood out to me. 3 along the bottom to give us a little scene here. Lots of cute girls cuddling adorable creatures. A little bunny for the top right hand corner, and and a sweet little girl with bubble tea wearing a fox hat. I think it's so cute. That's it. That's probably the easiest page in this setup. For another single page monthly on the right side here, this one's going to be a list monthly. So this is really good if you're a linear person, you like to have everything in the order that it will happen. This is literally a list of the dates in this pink column that I've made here. That column will have the initial and the number for each day of the week. So in this instance, Sunday and a 1, Tuesday and a 2, so on and so forth. And the space next to that is for you to write whatever you need to remember for those days. It's a bit of a non-traditional calendar layout, but I actually really like it. I haven't used it in a while, so maybe this is the inspiration I needed to give this one another go. These two washi tapes are my favorite thing in the world right now, so I'm actually going to use these on this monthly setup and also on the next one that I show you too. These are the Dreamland washi tapes from the washi tape shop. In particular, this is the violet 2-piece set, and I'm obsessed, and I could probably use only these 2 washi tapes for the rest of my life and be a very happy person. So I'm using it down the left side. I didn't need that much space for events. And again down the bottom, although the washi tape is a little bit too wide for the space that I wanted to fill. So I'm just going to grab a metal ruler and use my craft knife to just trim that extra bit off. Now we're just going to highlight every second line with the palest of pale pink markers, just because I thought that would look really lovely. Once again, a bit easier to see in person than it is on camera here, but I just like the notebook kind of look that this gives you. Up the top here, just adding a May header, just going for a very simple sans serif lowercase font here, and then thickening up the downstrokes. They're a bit wonky. Some of them are smaller downstrokes than others, but that's just going to give me a bit of space to grab 2 Tombow Jewel brush pens, a violet, this one's the purple sage, and the pink carnation, and make a kind of gradient look in those gaps, just by doing the purple at the top and the pink at the bottom. How easy was that? We've only got one more left to do, and it is a double page spread again. Quite similar to the first one, but also very different. And I'm going to be using these 2 washi tapes again because I simply cannot help myself. So rather than a grid this time, while everything is still in a box and laid out, there is a 1 space gap in between each of the boxes. And this time on the left page, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And on the right page, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a space over on the right side. You could use that space for notes or writing down events for next month if you don't have a future log in your journal. I'm just going to put some washi tape there. And the way that May works out, it's actually left us this beautiful cradle at the top of the page where I'm going to put my May header. So that's very nice and clean. If you are using these ideas for a different month, it may not work out that way for you. You'll just have to have a look at what the month looks like, where the days fall, and work with the space that you have. So once again, my boxes are 5 spaces by 5 spaces. I usually just start from the center, the inside of the page, and count outwards from there to work out how wide they need to be. And you don't need to set these up with a ruler necessarily. You could absolutely freehand this and it would be a much quicker process and you'd be less likely to smear ink across your page. So if you are doing it with a ruler, make sure you wipe it off every now and then. But I think it would also look just as cute with freehanded lines, and you could make them rounded boxes, you could make them circles if you wanted to, especially if you have a circle template. That could be really cute. A little bubble for each day of the month. This is Mitsu, my fluffy helper, come to supervise proceedings. You will see him stick his little kitty nose in a few times, and he distracted me and I ruled one of my lines way too far across, so thanks for that, Mitsu. Much appreciated. If you like to illustrate in your bullet journal, it can be really fun to have a design where the boxes are floating like this, because you can keep your illustration going behind them and it will kind of peek through in those gaps, so that's always fun. I've left a gap of 1 space above the top box for each row, and I'm just adding a little line of purple there to add the first couple of letters for each day of the week, so I know where my Mondays are, even though my Mondays are always in the same place. And I'm just going to use the pink as well to add a little drop shadow to the left side and the bottom of each of these boxes. While I've got you here, I would absolutely love if you'd hit subscribe down below if you'd like to see more of this kind of content from me. I post a new video every Monday here on my channel, and it's always in the bullet journaling, stationery kind of realm, so if you're into that, I'd love to have you here as part of my little family. You can also jump over onto Instagram and follow me there. I am at erinsmith.art, and it would mean the world to me to have you follow me in both places. Now we're going to add the May header. This is going to be a block lettered heading, which is not usually my thing, but I'm going to make it cute and you'll see what I mean. So I'm using my ruler once again because I want very clean lines for this. I've made all of those thick downstrokes 2 spaces wide on their own because I wanted them to be very chunky. And I'm just layering some of my washi tape over the top of those areas. So everywhere there are lines for those chunkier sections, we're just going to trace over it with the craft knife, peel up the washi tape that's around it, and then we're going to have this beautiful detailed lettering by washi tape so that it looks like you've got some skills with some pens or something, I don't know, but actually it's washi tape filling in the gaps of the lettering. I've seen some people do really beautiful things with this, like, you know, the dresses on fashion illustrations and stuff like that, and it's so much fun. So definitely have a play with this in your journal if you have a craft knife and some washi tape available to you. This is so much fun. It's like coloring in but super leveled up. And yes, my cat is now lying across my arm because he wants me to pay attention to him and not finish this video. Once again, just adding a little dot in the top left corner of each of the boxes so there is somewhere for the number for each day to go. And once again, you could leave this here if you like it a little bit more minimal. I'm just too obsessed with these washi tapes and having too much fun with my craft knife, so I'm going to add a little border on the right side and also on the left side with my offcuts. So I'm sticking down the pink first, and I'm using my craft knife to make a wavy line this time. When I peel that up, suddenly we have a wavy edge. Isn't that cool? And I'm going to deliberately layer this lavender washi tape over the top and do the exact same thing in a slightly different pattern so that this time when we peel it up, we're revealing the pink washi tape underneath as well. And I've kept both of those offcuts, and I'm just going to pop them right on the edge of the opposite side. There isn't a great deal of space over here, but I really wanted to get it on both edges, and I think it's really pretty. I had such a good time with this, and I'm obsessed with these washi tapes, like beyond belief. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. Here's a little flip through so you can see everything one more time. If you use any of these ideas in your own journal, please do tag me on Instagram or send me a photo or something. I'd love to see. Until next Monday, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for planning with me. Bye.